What's going on, guys? I got a little history story to tell you here. All right. This story is about a little cafe restaurant type joint that was here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And I have no choice but to remember it because it was here before me. And today's date is Saturday, March the 1st. The last date it was here was yesterday, February 28th, 2025. I'm gonna tell you just not the backstory, but what happened in my part. All right, I remember as a kid, and that's when downtown was thriving, and I can remember the smell every time you passed through there. It had this different smell. Cafes and other little, I don't know what you call them. They always have a different smell, and they always have the greasy bag with your burger in it. That was a staple of a get down when you finna bust your neck wide open. But now today they put the paper on there that don't bleed through oil as well. Or either the burgers ain't oil as they used to be. But back in the day, y'all, a good old burger, it had to be greasy. Yeah. Some of you go back and look at Menace to Society. Dude say, I got these cheeseburger. It was grease all over that bag, man. I was like, oh, that look like a good burger. Didn't even see the burger. But this was one that was food though. Because they closed down back in, shoot, I think they closed back in 2016 or 17. I'm not too tough on that time right there. I can't cause uh I think they opened back in 2018. And I just had to make it over there. They closed at stupid times. Like I was at work, and when I get out work, they were closed. And it was like they closed at like 4 o'clock or something like that. So one day I made it over there. Man, that burger was so nasty. And small, and I was disappointed. So this time they said they was closing the doors, and this Friday was gonna be the last day. So at Thursday, I had to take a trip to Louisiana so that I came on back through here before I went up where I had to be after that Louisiana trip. Um, Stopped in there for a little bite. Guys, that was the nastiest place I've ever seen in my life
Jesus Christ.
to eat it. I still ate it. I took one for my team. I still ate it. That was the end of it. I watched them cook it, but I didn't watch them prepare it. So, uh, guys, you would rather eat outside on the ground.
Really, nigga?
You would rather take your paper towel, lay it on top of the grass, and put your burger on that grass and sit Indian style and eat versus eat up inside that place. I do not see how it stayed open. How did the whoever to do the grading and all, then come and give them a G minus. If anybody that knows about that place and know the owners or whatever, you should tell them. You should have shame on yourself for having a place like that being ran. Forget about the nostalgia of it, but I'm sure you lost a lot of customers by looking at how they look. Maybe if you had a nice, clean establishment, people are bougie these days. If you had a nice, clean establishment, you probably would have had more customers. But you didn't because it was nasty. It was filthy. All right, when I got in there, y'all, it was packed. It was packed. Sardine packed, can, every table was taken. The only chair I had was the chair that was right there directly in front of the cash register. A couple of pictures I took that you will see is the one of the floor. That like it never been mopped the 102 years that it been there. No, I would say ain't like it ain't been mopped in about 53 of the 102 years it's been there. Um, Cash register got some kind of film on it with hair stuck all over it. And that throw a lot of y'all away right there when you see the hair stuck on the cash register. The walls and all had like black stuff up on it and the cleaning stuff in there was the newer pictures they had on the wall. They had a whole history of pictures on the wall, like just history. I bet Joy and little places around. It was just pictures. And it was nice to look at, but here came the uneasy part. The place was known had a racial tone back in the days, as I heard from like my mama and other older people. You couldn't go in there. Black folks had this restaurant around where it was a hamburger joint around the corner where they had to go into the back door and get food out of a little hole in the wall or what have you. But they couldn't go in these other restaurants. And my mama said she went in one day and she said everybody turned around, looked at her, and quit eating. And one dude said, you can't be up in here. And she was like, and she said she ordered her food. And the dude came and said, hey, how can I help you? But that's that. That ain't got nothing to do with this. This place was so filthy, y'all. And as I'm sitting there, uh, these two people get their burgers. And I'm looking at it like, wow, it look kind of good. It was kind of tall, double cheeseburger. I ordered a cheeseburger, chili cheeseburger. Oh, I skipped over the story a little bit. That didn't. Okay, let's go backwards. All right, I'm sitting there. And I'm thinking about the racial overtone. I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, man, them people look racist right there. That person, they look racist on that picture. And I'm just looking at it. It's got a black and white picture. And I'm like, man, I wonder, was they really racist like that? The people, or was it just the times? Was the people really racist? I don't know. And I'm not going to put that on them like that. So don't say I called them racist. But I'm going to tell you, I had a negative feeling in that place. The whole time I'm sitting there like, it just don't feel homely. It feels very depressing. And it just got a funny feeling. So I looked around. I said, let me check something. Looked around. I was the only colored person in this place. Like, wow. But I ain't afraid because I'm always ready. So when this group of people got up to go pay, I'm just at the restaurant, like, I'm just sitting there like this here, like, man, come on, man. And I looked, their table was empty. I said, y'all ready? Y'all done? Y'all? They said, no, we just fixing to pay. Damn. But they paid and went on out the door. I'm like, man. So I got on up, went to their little table over there. And when I got to their table, I sat there and looked around some more. I got a different view now. I'm like, man, if somebody took this restaurant over, they would have to come in and tear this whole damn place down. It's that bad, man. You got to tear that whole place down in order to get it up to par. I bet you the the codes and all they had to do all kinds of stuff in order for them somebody else to come in and use that place. All right, let me tell you this story that's the real backstory versus what I just told you of my experience. But oh, wait. My burger, I'm gonna tell you, my burger, you see with the three fingers next to it, that was just a size comparison. And in my hand, that burger came straight from the grill to the paper to the vehicle, and it looked like it been cooked for an hour and a half, and somebody had it rolling around in their car. They gave me a bag that looks like you would put peanuts in the bag. The bag was so small, and I was like, "Is that really my burger? They finna put in this bag? That was really my burger. I should have saved the bag." Uh, so they put the little burger in there, and I was like, "Let me get on out here and see what this thing do." Because like I said, that bag didn't look like it can hold a burger like the other folk had. They had a double cheeseburger. They used nothing but ground of the ground beef. They didn't use ground chuck or anything like that because he smashed that burger down. It came out nice size. I'm stroking my chin, but it shrunk up like a poke. It was the size of a big biscuit. And they had best choice buns. They had best choice mustard sitting out. And I'm like, you at least had French's mustard. I mean, and best choice buns, they very small. I don't even like to make hamburgers with best choice unless I'm doing something for a mass of people, but not for a restaurant. That's the best choice. I'm sure they'll say we was on our last day, so we just got anything. You tarnishing your name. You tarnishing it. Okay. For 102 years, the Coney Island Cafe has been one of those places. Let me use my narrator voice. For 102 years, the Coney Island Cafe has been one of those places in my hometown of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Four directed descended generations of the Fakakas family have stood behind the griddle, serving up hamburgers, hot dogs, curly fries, and breakfast that brought folks in from all walks of life in every corner of town. Longevity like that is unparalleled in the restaurant world. 90% of independent restaurants closed within their first 5 years, let alone a century. But the Coney Island, it endured, becoming a cornerstone of downtown Hattiesburg and a witness to more than a century of change. Staying open for a century in the restaurant business is no small feat. The odds are stacked against even the best run establishments to last that long. Restaurants more than good food. It takes grit, heart, and a dedication that few can maintain. The Coney Island Cafe didn't just survive, it thrived. Through changing tastes, economic hardships, and the rise of chain restaurants, it stood a testament to what's possible when a family pours everything they have into their craft. That kind of longevity isn't just rare, it's almost unheard of. Let me switch voices, y'all. Back into my voice. That was I don't know why they call it Coney Island. I really don't know that name behind that. but it was next to a railroad track crossing, not a crossing, but switch, railroad switch, and down the street is the Amtrak. Arthur Fukakis. I went with a schoolgirl named Katie Fukakis. I wonder if she's a kid to him though. Arthur Fukakis, whatever you want to call it. He's the cafe founder. He came from Greece in the early part of the 20th century. If he'd tried to come this time, Trump would have run away from him. Maybe. With little more than a dream he came here with. His work ethic that wouldn't quit. He started with a simple fruit cart. He would buy a shade tree next to the railroad tracks back in 1923. Over time, that cart became a fruit stand, then a small cafe serving classic short order fare. His food, hard work, and hospitality, it built a loyal following. And that's when Coney Island became the restaurant that it was, and is, and died as that. As of him being a Greek immigrant, he was some of the earliest pioneers of Mississippi's restaurant industry. Their diners and cafes became the heartbeat of small towns across the whole state. They had warm meals and a place that people together and talk crazy, and set up whatever they're gonna set up, I'm guessing. The Fukakis family took the responsibility seriously. Because when he died, it passed the business on to his son, Junior, who later passed it down to his son and somebody else, and Billy. And when Billy passed in 2018, his son BJ stepped up to continue the tradition. Through wars of depression and shifting downtown landscape, the Coney Island never moved their generation of Hattiesburgers knew that place. No matter how much we change, Coney Island will be right there on Main Street, serving up their familiar meals. When businesses began to move to like Cloverleaf Mall and little strips back in the 1980s, Coney Island stayed right there, y'all, on that little corner. I mean, it's a little building too now. They probably had bought it and were like, we ain't finna move on or what have you. It stood right there through the same white flight that emptied many downtowns across the South. And when Hattiesburg downtown began its revival in the late 1990s, Coney Island was still standing in the same spot. It became a touchstone, a place like where locals brought their children, just as their parents had brought them back in the good old days with the good old boys and everything. They say those kind of restaurants are part of the town soul. Some souls need to be buried, you know what I'm saying? Some souls do need to be buried, because some souls were bad. I was looking at some stuff the other day, man. I was looking at pictures of old days when they had like some racist people on there, and I'm like, how can a bastard be so damn racist? How could somebody be so racist? When I was sitting in that restaurant, like I said, I'm looking around at them pictures. Then I looked at the people, and then I'm like, I wonder if anybody here racist. Because I had this uneasy feeling, man. It just didn't feel right. It made me get actual anger inside. I really wanted to get up and then just start hitting people. And that's how I felt. How I felt. They say the Coney Island saw a lot in its 102 years being open. It opened when Calvin Coolidge was president. Before my time, way before. And the Empire State Building was still a blueprint. Coney Island was there, y'all. It survived the Great Depression, World War II, and the long, slow economic recovery that followed. Coney Island never closed its doors until the day Billy Fukakis received his cancer diagnosis. He had never missed a day of work in 34 years. Once, when he needed surgery, he scheduled it on a Friday afternoon so he could be back behind the griddle on Monday. A hard-working man, that boy. That's the kind of commitment that built Coney Island's reputation. But as you know, this generation nowadays, they don't go by that. They don't care what he did. It was just not a place to eat, but a place built on dedication, hard work, and pride in serving others. Serving some. When he passed away, his son BJ stepped up to carry on the legacy. He didn't have to. He had another career. But he felt the weight of what the Coney meant to his town. He knew it wasn't just about flipping burgers around. It was about honoring his family's history and serving a community that had supported his whole generation. And so he opened the doors again, determined that Coney reached its 100th anniversary. At 102 years, the Coney Island Cafe is closing its doors for good. For good. They even had shirts on sale. Get your shirt. $25 for a little t-shirt, man, you crazy. Downtown won't be the same without it, they say. Yes, it will. Hattiesburg won't be the same without it. Yes, it will. But the Coney's legacy isn't measured in years. It's measured in the memories of some, y'all. Made there. My mama memory is of she can't go up in there. That's what her memory is. Some memories going there eating a nice, good hamburger. They may have been better back then, but today they suck. Losing a place like the Coney Island Cafe is more than the closing of a business. It's the end of a chapter that shaped this town's identity. There's a sadness that comes when knowing future generations won't get to sit at those booths, those nasty booths, and hear the hum of that well-worn griddle. It's well-worn, I bet you. But mixed with that sadness is deep respect. The restaurant business is brutal. The long hours, they ain't had no long hours. The relentless pace, it was hot up in there too, y'all. I mean hot. They had a window unit blowing. Wow. And it was hot still, right in front of the window unit. I'm going to tell y'all like this here. With that feeling that I had, I'm glad they closed the doors. Cause I don't have feelings like that. And to have a feeling like that, it just, like I said, it put me in a violent mood. And it just hit me out of there. You know, I didn't go in with that. But just sitting there, it just negative vibes and energy just got on top of me and just started making me just think bad stuff. And then, like I said, I'm just looking at folks around like, I wonder if they looking at me too. I just want to get up and kick somebody. It's over.